Here we are today in the southeast of England. For once it's a lovely day, the sun is shining, birds are singing, and I'm in this very nice Volvo. So I'm driving a 2004 Volvo A25D. It's done over 14,000 hours, but still does a great day's work like it was brand new. I thought I'd give you a quick tour around the cab and show you some of the controls. So let's start with the pedals. In the right corner you've got the accelerator. Next to that we've got the brake, pretty straightforward. On the far left is just a footrest, and then this left pedal is the retarder. The retarder is used like a brake when travelling downhill, especially when loaded. There is a lot of weight to try and slow down with the foot brake. So the retarder uses the engine to slow the momentum of the truck, which keeps you in control. It also saves on brake wear, limits the effect of brake fade, and also limits the chance of you turning into a runaway train. Also on the floor is this button here. This is the diff lock button, which will engage 6-wheel drive until you release the button again. This will make all 6 wheels spin at the same speed, which is used when travelling through soft or loose ground. However, you do have to be careful using diff locks, because turning them on when you have a wheel spinning freely, or even when manoeuvring, can put a lot of stress on the very expensive drive components, and you could even break a half shaft. So keep an eye out. I might do a separate video on diff locks, on when to use them and when not to use them. So on the right control panel you've got your gear stick here. Pull it down into R for reverse, forward into D for drive, which is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Then the 3, 2 and the 1, it will limit the up change to 3rd gear, 2nd gear or 1st gear. Obviously make sure that you stop before changing direction to avoid any damage to the transmission. Then beside that you have your tipping lever, so pull it back to tip the body up, push it forwards to bring it back down again, and then this position here is the float position. So when you bring the body back down, just before it's almost touching, just bring it back into the float and it will just bring it down nice and gentle. This button here is the tipping brake. So it's a temporary brake which is disengaged when you put it into either drive or reverse, and basically just holds you there while you're getting loaded or when you're tipping up. Which saves you using the parking brake, which is this button here. So that's turning it on. You can hear the air going in there, and then to take it off it's got a little tab on it there and you just push it down. Also on this right control panel we have these 3 buttons here. So this white one will lock you into gear, and then press it again to unlock. And then you got this one here which is your retarder, same as your left pedal, but when this button's on you activate the retarder by taking your foot off of the accelerator. And then this button here is the exhaust brake, which does a similar job to the retarder, but when that button's on you activate the exhaust brake by the first bit of travel on your brake pedal before the brakes engage. So from there we just have 2 more buttons on this right hand control panel which are for the diff lock controls. So at the moment everything's turned off, so this is how you'd have it if you're just manoeuvring around site, if you're on relatively firm ground and you're just doing whatever you need to do. If you put this green button on, that's going to send power to all 3 axles, so maybe if you're on slightly softer ground or slippery ground you might want to engage that so you have a bit more drive and you don't start sliding around. This yellow button will engage the front axle diff lock, so the 2 front wheels will be spinning at the same speed. To be honest, I never use this button at all. Between this green button here and the button on the floor, that'll get you out of most sticky situations. But with both of these, just remember to turn them back off again when you're out of the soft spot or whatever, because otherwise it's going to put a lot of strain on the driving components. So this is the right side of the dashboard. You've got your ashtray there, air vent, standard. You've got a 24 volt cigarette lighter there, so be careful using the socket with a phone charger or anything, that your phone charger is suitable for 24 volt. You do have a 12 volt charger up above your head there next to your interior light, which is probably more suitable for phone chargers and things like that. You've got your key, big red stop button is your emergency kill switch for the engine, for say if you turn the cab over or something like that, you need to kill the engine instantly. Don't do that though. Got your heated seat, flashing amber beacon, hazard lights, and this screen here is where your warning lights and things flash up. If you if a big red stop sign comes up, turn the engine off immediately, press the big button. That amber warning light there is just for your tipping brake, which we mentioned earlier, and then this diagram here is to indicate your diff lock button. So if I press the button on the floor, it will light all of them up. If I press the yellow button, it will light the front one. If I do the green one, it will do those two, and the parking brake will do those two as well. So moving into the middle, we've got this big round thing, don't know what that is. This is to tilt the steering wheel. Push that down, you can move the angle of the steering wheel like that. On this side you have the horn at the end. Next one in is your window washers, and then these are your window wiper controls. And if you push it down, that's your full beams, or pull it up to flash your headlights. The dashboard, let me get the steering wheel out of the way. We'll start in this corner. These two are for your air pressure. This is your transmission temperature, and that's obviously your fuel gauge. That's your odometer, and this is your speedo. Now if I turn the ignition on, then this little screen will start to wake up, and then that shows you got your clock, your current gear, and the temperature outside. And that screen is controlled on this left side. You got this little panel of buttons there, so you got your engine info, transmission, hydraulic, I think that's differential. On this truck it hasn't got that. Battery, that's kind of your service intervals. Set up so you can change a couple of settings, such as your time and bits and bobs. Selection buttons, and escape, which just brings it back to how it was with the clock. Also on this left side of the dashboard you've got this green button here, which is for your headlights. You got your air conditioning controls here and your heater, another air vent. This is just for the power. Lovely and cool. And this dial here is just for if you have your headlights on at night time, you can dim the dash lights so that they don't dazzle you as you're driving along. So that leaves us with the most important bit of equipment, which of course is the radio. Now if you like this video, then please click the thumbs up button down below and subscribe for some more videos. Thanks for watching, and keep on trucking.